There's a black family who has been routinely harassed by their neighbors, according to the report. So much so that the neighbors are playing skits, blasting it with the N-word, sounds of monkeys, blinking lights in their faces, and it goes on and on. Let me take you to Virginia Beach, Virginia. Martinez, who is black, says a neighbor's music, racial slurs, blinking lights, I want you to remember blinking lights, and monkey sounds have made her family's lives miserable. This is a black woman. According to Martinez, the harassment began with the blinking lights. It's important to remember that because I'm going to take you through what has happened in this case. We noticed a little erratic behavior like these blinking lights, once again, that are on a sensor. When my family or any other family leaves or returns to their homes, they all start to blink, Martinez says. When the sensors are activated, loud music begins to play. He switches the music based on the most recently, Martinez says, the music switched to monkey sounds. Let's show a picture generally of that neighborhood in Virginia, okay? A nice neighborhood, nice looking community. The community folks are standing with Miss Martinez and her family. My husband parked his truck on the street in front of his house, which is city property. And instead of music, he started playing monkey noises, Martinez said. Martinez says the neighbor plays the monkey noises whenever they arrive or depart their home. Wow, imagine leaving and coming back to that every single day. The family that is activating the music, we're talking about this neighbor with this ridiculous racist setup. Since that day, he's playing N-word skits that he found online. She said, Martinez said he plays skits that say, and I quote, black people have nothing better to do but go to a comedy club on a Friday night. And hey everyone, look, it's N-word guy. Everyone says, hi, N-word guy. This is what's blasting from their neighbor's home. Once again, happening right now, real life situation, still ongoing. The observed conduct has been reviewed with the city attorney for potential criminal sanctions. Now you would imagine something like this happening, of course, a violation of law, right? However, it was determined that the activity, though appalling, is not criminally actionable. That's according to the police department. They released a statement saying there's nothing they can do because it's not against the law. This family has also attempted to file a civil action to stop this ridiculous and adversarial and racist neighbor, and the courts told them this is outside of the boundaries of the court. Now, I did some research on this. I did some extensive research. I'm not a lawyer and I'm not giving legal advice, but I do want to bring your attention to what I have found in the municipal code of the city that they live in. Section 23-11-3, directing beam of laser, flashlight, or similar device into the eyes of another person, it shall be unlawful and a class 1 misdemeanor for any person to intentionally and without good cause direct the beam from a laser, flashlight, or similar device. Once again, they have established the neighbor is doing this already. Let me take you to section 23-63. Declaration of findings and policy. This was passed by the city council. The city council hereby finds and declares that excessive sound is a serious hazard to public health, welfare, peace and safety, and quality of life. That a substantial body of science and technology exists by which excessive sound may be substantially abated. That the people have a right to and should be ensured an environment free from excessive sound that may jeopardize the public health, welfare, peace, and safety, or degrade the quality of life. And that it is the policy of the city to prevent such excessive sound to the extent such action is not inconsistent with the citizen's First Amendment rights. That's Ordinance 3082. Those are your criminal ordinances. Let me take you to a civil case law statute in the state of Virginia. This was Virginian Railway versus London. This was a case decided by their court system. A private nuisance is the using or authorizing the use of one's property or anything under one's control so as to injuriously affect an owner or occupier of property by diminishing the value of that property, or by continuously interfering with his power or control of or enjoyment of that property, or by causing material disturbance or annoyance to him in his use or occupation of that property. Now, damn it, if I can go online, read black letter law, case law, and research the city code of Virginia Beach, how in the hell is this neighbor still operating with 100% immunity? I got the perfect person. Dina, tell me where I'm wrong at, because obviously they're right and I'm wrong somehow.
Well, first of all, this is an awful story. I can't imagine being that family and being tormented like that every single day. I actually was involved in a case that went viral a few years ago, the Emoji House. I don't know if you heard of this, but it was a neighbor who painted their house hot pink with huge emojis, kind of bullying. Yeah, bullying the neighbor next door. And I helped that neighbor get involved and try to advocate to the city. And there also, the city didn't do anything, because this First Amendment rights and the property rights of the owner is so strong in our country. These nuisance laws kind of balance the rights of, this man, as harassing as he is, doesn't leave his home, right? So we have this idea in America, we can do whatever we want inside the corners of our home, and then balance it with the next door neighbors being able to enjoy their home. And that intersection is a little complicated, especially when you have to do with the fact that what he's doing is a free speech protected. But what I found being involved in that case was that the city is not going to get creative. The one thing the city is most afraid of is getting sued. They don't want to. I think you're right there that they could have done something under that code that you did. But a city isn't going to go out on a limb for any of the neighbors, because they are most afraid of getting sued. And it was really frustrating trying to help someone in that case. And I imagine this family, whoever's trying to advocate them, how frustrating it is. I wish that the city would take at least a more vocal stance on this, even if they can't legally do something, maybe to at least say how morally wrong it is and how much they wish they can do something. I would think that the best case for them would be a private lawsuit, which it sounds like they tried to do. And the judge found that probably the First Amendment rights, which again, as awful as this is, he does have First Amendment protection. It's very hard to overcome somebody's First Amendment rights here. It sounds like the community was protesting. That's great. I would keep doing that. Make them have some consequence, even if it can't be legal, to hopefully have him, stop doing what he's doing.
Yeah, and I think you're right on the fact that the city prosecutor, they're not going to be creative with the application of the laws that are available. And there's already a court that has said, hey, we're looking at this case a little differently than maybe the state of Virginia. State of Virginia says by case law, this is a nuisance. It's settled case law from 1912, but this court looks at it differently, which by the way, is perfectly acceptable in the judiciary. You do not have consensus among judges many times, especially when you have courts of varying jurisdictions.